Sorted, mate. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, how are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, nice one, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. You?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Right, how have you been getting on through this through the lockdown then, pal?
Yeah, okay. To be honest, it's had its good points in a way. It's allowed me to refresh and get on with a lot of the parts of the business that I really wanted to get on with, but never really created the time for. So I've seen it as, I've tried to look at the positives of it, to be honest. Obviously, it's a difficult situation for a lot of people owning a business, but I've tried to look at the positives and use it to refresh myself, because I've had quite a lot of years of just work non-stop. You kind of get bogged down and almost lose a little bit of your energy. So yeah, it's had its good points. How about you?
Yeah, it's just hard keeping that focus, I think, really, sometimes, isn't it? Because, I mean, like I say, I do PT myself, but I've got another job as well on the side. But obviously, I haven't been able to get to the gym since March now, so it's tough, really. It's just trying to do what you can from home, which is not a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's difficult as well to obviously keep your clients motivated as well. I think they're the ones who suffer quite a lot, and I think to a degree it's probably of benefit to us to put ourselves in their situation, which I think this situation has put us in, that where we've had to miss the gym and we haven't had the perfect surroundings. So I think, it helps us see how difficult it is for them, I think, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I just want to start off the podcast today with, obviously you started off football. Were you in the Middlesbrough Academy, sort of early days?
I was back in the day. Feels a long time ago. I've gone grey since then.
Yeah, I remember that youngster ago. I know Bernie Slaven was talking. You got up quite a bit a long time ago. Yeah, thought you were going to make it at one point.
Yeah. Good memory. Yeah, good memories. Really good memories. It seems a different lifetime ago. I joined Middlesbrough from Darlington, I think, when I was 14, 15, and then ended up on a scholarship and got a 1-year professional contract, and then sadly ended up getting released, and things, obviously different things. I went a different path from there, but I've got good memories, great memories from Middlesbrough. Looking back, I've learned a lot from that as well. Even the experience of getting released at the time, devastating, I think, but over the years, when you finally come to terms with it, it's taught me a lot of lessons and stood me in good stead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, my son was in the academy a couple of years back and he got released and he was devastated as well. Like, so he went on to Stockton Town for a little bit, but then after that, he just sort of, I don't know, I think he just sort of fell out of love with it a bit at the moment. So, just seeing what he wants to do now, really.
How old is he?
He's coming up 17 this month. So just see what he's going to do.
Is he still playing now?
Yeah, he was still like, he was at the college, Stockton, and he was playing for the college team as well. So he's
it's a good club, Stockton. I think the main thing, and I think we've probably all forgot that sometimes with football, is to enjoy it for what it is. It's whether you're playing really high up, yeah, it is devastating when you get released, but I think you look back, and so hopefully for your son, just if you can enjoy it as much as possible at whatever level he's playing at, it's just nice to run around the football pitch, really. So, and Stockton's a great club, it's got a good setup with the college and everything.
Yeah, weren't you there yourself for a little while as well?
I worked at Stockton Town, yeah. I was football development officer so basically they just got a grant off the FA and opened the new building, and I was employed partially on a football development officer contract and a centre manager as well. So again, brilliant experience. I learned an absolute massive amount from that. I learned enormous amounts. And Martin Hillaby, the chairman, who fantastic bloke, still speak to him now, and he's done a great job. I mean, Martin's the driving force behind that club. He puts a lot of hours in, as do a lot of people, but he really deserves the success that they're getting. So I enjoyed my time there. I believe that helped develop the start of it, and I'm proud of that as well. I'm proud of being part of it, but it was 100% right for me to move on in a different direction and go into the fitness industry.
Yeah, is that something you've always been interested in, like fitness and wise and nutrition and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. When I was at Middlesbrough, I spent more time in the gym. I should have probably spent more time on my touch, but I spent more time in the gym. I was probably more interested in the fitness side of things. Spent a lot of time with sports scientists when I was there. So I studied it a lot even before I went to Middlesbrough. When I was at school, I was into the gym from being 12, 13-year-old. It always helped me from a mental point of view. I always felt better when I trained. I always felt more focused and calm after a train. So I really studied it a lot. Then when I was at Middlesbrough again, studied it and did my qualifications when I was there and when I just got released as well. And went from there. I was coaching in schools, football, different PE subjects and nutrition to kids. I did youth work that involved nutrition and fitness as well. So it has always been a passion of mine, to be honest.
Yeah, so at the time when you were in the Middlesbrough Academy then, was nutrition quite a sort of, it probably wouldn't have been as big as it is now, is it?
It was just starting off. Yeah, it was just starting off. So they've got the sports scientists in there. So they were fairly strict, to be honest. And we got quite well educated on it. And it's one thing I can always say, I always ate healthy. I was always dedicated from that point of view. So they obviously had the training ground where you got fed well, you got fed the right food. So they were really good. They were getting to the point of where they were massively educating us on nutrition, on strength and conditioning. It wasn't quite at the level it will be now, but it was just taking off. So yeah, it was a good setup. Yeah,
I think like a couple of years ago when my son was there as well, like they were just starting to give like their own individual programs and all that sort of thing. But that's the one thing he struggled with really, because he likes like takeaways and all that sort of thing too much. So, but not for myself, like. He's always all that sort of junk. It just, to me, it's like poison to the body.
And like you say, some people can get away with that as well. So, but it is important to get the right foods in. I can understand, though, from a young age, it's a fine balance between them enjoying the youth and, you know, when you're younger, you do want to enjoy that and being dedicated. So, but they do give the right education out there now, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my own little gym here, and it comes in here quite a lot now. Yeah, because like I said, I've built a gym at home, and he's in here every day now. And he's still going and eating junk food, so it's just getting the right balance, I think, really.
Yeah, and it depends what the focus is, doesn't it? It depends what he's training for, and I think and doing the right things. I know when I was at Middlesbrough, I used to train, but I used to do the wrong things. To be honest, I was trying to train to look good, and it didn't always help performance. And again, it depends what the goal is. So he might just be training to out-train the bad diet as such.
Yeah, that's one thing you can't do, isn't it?
Unfortunately not. You get some lucky people, the unlucky people who can, but not many. I'm certainly not one of them.
No, me neither. So, yeah, like I look at something and I feel like I put weight on, so just got to keep doing it. Like I do a lot of exercise and running and all sorts. Really, I've done like charity boxing events, Great North Run. Try everything really.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I do a bit for
What was the last thing you did? Was it charity boxing? Or?
The charity boxing was, I done the ultra white collar boxing over in Middlesbrough.
Brilliant.
Last year, the year before. I was actually due to do one in April, but obviously all that got sort of cancelled. We only got a few training sessions before all that got knocked on the head, so
Did you enjoy it? Most importantly, did you win? I'm sure.
Well, no, I sort of it was what you do in them sort of fights. You do like a 3-round fight, and it just goes on like obviously if you're getting really hurt, they'll stop it, but it goes on to points, and in the end, sort of lost on points.
Yeah.
I think I was sort of forgot I was boxing at one point. It was a bit of wrestling, and you know. But when you train all them weeks, you just want to win, don't you? You don't think it's for charity. You want to win. You play it to win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As long as you didn't get knocked out, it's all good.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I say, I did enjoy it. It was a really good night. Like a really good crowd and all that turned up. So it was a good event for charity, really. Something different what I've never done before, so I enjoyed it.
Brilliant. It takes a lot to do that because I was meant to be doing one the other year and I just never did it, to be honest. So it takes so fair play to you. Fair play to you.
Yeah, like I say, all the training's good and all the fitness-wise, we're doing all sorts of like arm-based type training and things like that. As soon as you start putting the gloves on and you get hit in the nose and it's a different ball game, then once you get a bust nose,
Exactly.
it's no fun then.
That's exactly. I think boxing. I wouldn't mind the punching part. It's the getting hit back. That's the problem. I'm ugly enough as it is.
When we get older, you certainly don't want to be getting punched in the nose and things like that. Yeah, so just going back a little bit, so, you know, when you sort of were in the academy then, was there what sort of players were around at the time? Was there like the likes of Marinelli, Andrew Taylor, was it that sort of age group?
Yeah, so we had a really good side, some fantastic players. We had Marinelli, we had Stuart Thornaby, we had Luke Wilkshire. I don't know if I mentioned him there, I'm going to say that. And we had Brad Jones. We had a lad called Craig Dove, who was fantastic. He didn't make it as high as what we thought he would, what people thought he would, but he's still an excellent player. Keeps himself in good shape now, I've seen on Instagram as well. So he played for Rushden and Diamonds, I think. He was an England Youth International. We had some absolutely fantastic players in that team. Some went on to make it. Some obviously didn't. Some played lower down. A lot of us played Northern League. Some a little bit higher. Yeah. But it was great memories and massive respect for those who did go on to make it because it's really tough.
Yeah. Was Tom Craddock in that age group as well?
No. We were a few years before that.
Yeah.
And we got the semi-finals. We did really well. I remember some fantastic games there, West Ham away, where we won 2-0. I think they were the favourites that year. And Marinelli was unbelievable that game as well. I remember we played Arsenal in the semi-finals and we got beat 1-0 at Highbury. They absolutely battered us at Highbury. We did well to come out 1-0. Brad Jones played really well in that game. And then we played them at home. We went 1-0 up. Massive crowd there. I think it was about nearly 15,000 there. And like I said, we went 1-0 up, doing really well. And then Brad Jones made a massive mistake. I think he was on Soccer AM at the time. I think he got replayed on Soccer AM on Taxi for Jones, I think it was. The ball went under his foot. It was a really windy night. And we drew the game 1-1 in the end and got beat on aggregate. It's unfortunate. Arsenal went on to win it. They had a fantastic side. And I'm sure Brad Jones, like you say, he made the mistake, but he kept us in it the game before. He went on to have a really good career, so fair play to him.
Yeah, he was a really good keeper, but he was fraught with the odd little mistake here and there, like even when he got in the first team. But I mean, no one's perfect either. He went on to have a great career, like you said.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to watch the telly and say, "Oh, you made a mistake," but anyone who makes it at that level has done really well for themselves, and having come close enough, you know, it is tough. It's fine lines, and it's consistency that usually gets you through it. So for people who have a career, they've obviously been a lot more consistent. So you've got to respect that, and to play at that level is a massive achievement.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously it's having like sort of the right mentality. So if you do make a mistake or if things don't always go right, it just starts sort of keeping on and having like a battling spirit, really, isn't it? Sort of not to give up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you just mentioned there, the mentality and the mindset is enormous at that age, especially to make it as a professional footballer. It's somewhere where I fell down at that time. And because of that, I've looked to develop that over the years. It's what I've studied heavily, the psychology side of things. But at the time, that was my downfall. I could be excellent and I could be absolutely awful as well. So I didn't often have an in-between at that level, whereas you get the good players who, the 7, 8 out of 10 every week. I could be really good and then really, really bad. I just couldn't. If I made a mistake, it meant too much to me at the time. I couldn't really compute it properly, rationalise things. It was the end of the world when something went wrong. And when something went good, I was almost euphoric. So I think at that time, at that age, I was probably emotionally not ready for that type of environment.
Yeah. I know what you mean, like, I sort of on a bit the same in the South Coast, you like having mental health problems and things as well. You sort of get, if something goes wrong, you get really down and you start blaming yourself for everything. And then the next minute something goes right and you just, like you say, you feel invincible. And then it's just like, it's no sort of like level ground, is there really? It's either all the way up there or all the way down there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and that can be worked on. It's something I struggled with at that age, and I went and worked on with various things that happened, and looked at in the right way. It can be a massive learning tool to develop yourself and to help others who might have them similar issues.
Yeah, that's it. That's a little bit like sort of like I say what I'm trying to do myself. I've done a few things charity-wise for mine, the charity is, and things like that. And it's like it's just trying to like help myself and then to help others the way like fitness and training and all that sort of things, like help myself, because it just helps you focus your mind a little bit better, doesn't it? I think.
Absolutely, I'm a massive believer that fitness is the best prescription, or exercise is the best prescription for any form of troubles that people are going through mentally. I think the fact that it releases the endorphins, it gives you some focus and it takes up energy. And I think sometimes when people have got masses of energy but not enough activity, it's easy to get bored. And when you get bored, you overthink. When you overthink, then that's when things start magnifying and become a problem. So exercise is certainly something that is the best prescription, in my opinion, for anything like that.
Yeah, that's it. And like you say, it's sort of it gets your adrenaline flowing, doesn't it? And after you've done it, you always feel that much better. Feel better about yourself.
Without doubt, yeah. I think again, when working with anybody like that, the flip side of that is sometimes making sure you don't go. It's like anything can get addictive, and you can sometimes get the buzz of training and go too far, or too far with your nutrition. It's getting that balance with everything.
Yeah. I mean, for myself, I did that a bit when I was a bit younger. Like I sort of get into training and get too much, and then sort of got a bit too far. I feel like creating episodes, that sort of thing. It's just sort of pushing yourself hard, but not too hard. But I'm a bit older and wiser now. Well, older. I've got the wiser part.
I think. Yeah, the DOMs the next day are a little bit worse when you get older, so you have to calm down. But I certainly have to do. But yeah, I think the mental side of things, for me, like you say, it is a prescription. There's certain things you can do to help yourself improve on that side, and I think that helps with clients as well when they're going through certain issues, and it also helps you to realise things when you might need to give them advice that you can't help them with as well.
Yeah, that's it. Because like it was sort of when you've been in a tricky position yourself, and like you sort of doubt yourself, it's always giving them that belief, and then because you know yourself, you've been there, so that you can sort of help them a little bit to get through the other side, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and It's something, again, that it is a massive talking point, the mental health side. I'm a big believer in, yes, it's great that it's talked about, and it's great that there's a lot out there. I'm also a big believer that after the talking has to be some action as well, because none of us want to stay in that period of negative mental health. And I think the talking part has a massive beginning with that, a massive importance, but then there's got to be some action forward and strategies of how to improve that, because nobody wants to stay there. And I think sometimes it can get to a point where, because it's easy, it makes things feel better to talk about, which is fantastic. But sometimes I think more needs to be done on the actionable side from there and how we move forward. So you're not always in that really negative part of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly what you mean. Yeah. So obviously, so you started off, like you said, you were in the academy at Middlesbrough. It didn't work out there. Is that what sort of led you to going into the fitness career then?
Yeah, I mean, I went through a little bit, obviously, naturally a rough time. It was life and death for me at that time. That's how it felt with football. That's all I wanted to do all my life. Every day, so I was obsessed, absolutely obsessed with it. So when it happened, my world in my head at that time caved in. And you can go two ways. You can sit and cry in your bedroom for days and days and not come out, or you can pretend that you're okay. And for me, I put a smile and pretend I was okay. And on weekends, I would go out and not just get drunk, I'd get absolutely hammered to the point of where I couldn't remember anything, and that went on for a couple of years. I was naturally fit at the time, though, so I still managed to play football. Often played football the next day, no problem. And some parts of that were funny as well. Got some great memories from that. But I was causing myself more problems at that time. I stopped with my training in the gym. I was working as a sports coach, but it was only really part-time. And it got to a point where I got really down. So I got sick of living that type of lifestyle. So kind of got back into the training myself, and then carried on the sports coach and ended up at Stockton Town Football Club as football developer. Again, which was brilliant. I was there for 3 years. And the real turning point for me was when I collapsed playing football at 27. Whilst I was working at Stockton Town, that something I was apparently born with and I'd lived with, that was a heart arrhythmia, but was kind of triggered by the amount of stress I was putting on myself by almost working myself into the ground, which was my choice. Nobody forced me to. But was kind of become addicted to work at that time. I wanted to achieve, and I pushed myself too far, and then wasn't feeling too great for a couple of weeks. And then I was in a match for Norton Stockton Ancients in a FA Cup qualifier against FC United, and ended up collapsing on the pitch. And then eventually found out I had a heart arrhythmia that needed sort of medical procedure.
Yeah, was that you played for Norton Stockton Ancients? Did you say that?
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Which we had a fantastic team, brilliant memories, and that was a big day for the club. Obviously, I can't remember barely anything about it, but although it was a strange moment and caused a lot of problems for months afterwards, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best places it could have happened as well, obviously, with a lot of people being there. So, I mean, it helped you out. So you sort of, you got your help, what you needed at the time.
Yeah, absolutely, and got really, taken really good care of. The hospitals were brilliant. The specialists that, the specialists that did a lot of researching. I had a lot of tests back and forwards. I had a monitor inserted in my chest, and eventually they found out the problem and sorted it out. So I was very fortunate that way. I'm very grateful for the the help I got. Some people are not so lucky. I was very fortunate. Obviously, after that, I went through severe panic attacks after that, because every time I went out of the house, something in my subconscious thought I was going to collapse of a heart attack. So I'd become a shivering wreck for about a year after that. Struggled to speak to people properly. Tried to hide it as well. So, but again, that helped me get into the fitness industry, made a change, helped me study a lot of psychology and understand the behaviours that were happening with me. So it was a really good thing in a strange way.
Yeah. So from like an early age then, was it always a football that you wanted to do first? Did you always want to be a football player?
Yeah, I did, yeah. It comes from my mother. I used to get taken to the borough matches off my mum. Used to stand in the whole gate and absolutely loved it. My mum used to be shouting and screaming. She was just as passionate. And they're like unbelievable memories. The first memory going to Ayresome Park and watching the football. And from there, I just wanted to be a footballer, 100%, for Middlesbrough as well. So it nearly happened, but I'm proud of where I got.
Yeah, so like you say, were you a Middlesbrough fan growing up then, were you?
Yeah, I still am to this day. Obviously, Bernie Slaven was my favourite player as well. He was my hero. So it was very surreal getting interviewed off him for Borough TV. And you look back, you don't appreciate that at the time. You don't appreciate the things that happen. But I always loved Middlesbrough. I remember the Carling Cup game as well. Brilliant. So I don't go to many games now, busy with work. But I still want them to do really well, and they're still my club.
Yeah, I remember that. Like when Borough TV used to be quite big at the time. Obviously, Middlesbrough one of the first teams to have their own TV channel. I remember, because they used to always ask Bernie for who his up-and-coming players were in the academy, because he used to go and watch a few games at, I think it was Billingham Synthonia's ground where the reserves used to play. And yours was the name that came up quite a bit. Like you say, you used to always think that you were going to make it, being a striker like he was. So, it was good times.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I didn't think it for a couple of years afterwards because everywhere I went, I was reminded of the lad off Borough TV, so that just kind of compounded my misery at that time. So for a spell, I was probably more bitter about it than happy about it, because that's the way you think at the time. You think you had done to, and so for the couple of years afterwards, being reminded you're on Borough TV was probably a negative thing for me. To kind of wanting to forget about everything, but looking back, it's great memories. It was a good experience. I was probably as bad on camera then as I am now, so but I loved it. Yeah, great memories, and it's something I can look back on with a lot of pride, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can imagine it would have been tough at the time, especially with some of the players like you mentioned who went on to play professional and played in the league football, and these obviously to get released, it wouldn't have been sort of good at the time, but it's also something you can look back on and say that you've done it.
Yeah, and it can be difficult. I mean, I remember, I think it was not long after I'd been released, and I was struggling to get a job, and I had no money. I had no money. Obviously, I live with my parents. I didn't really need that money, but at the time, you think you do. And then I put the World Cup on. And there's Luke Wilkshire running around for Australia playing against Rivaldo and stuff like that. And I think, so it does hit home then. But, that's at the time. You look back with a lot of proud fondness that you've played with players such as that, and respect for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. So from after football, was that when you first had experience with obviously depression, mental health and that sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's not something I want to really dwell on, because it's something that's kind of been, it was a negative at the time, but it's provided a positive in the end. So it's not something I want to really dwell on and say I suffered from this. It was a period of my life that I probably needed to go through.
Yeah,
and it's helped me grow.
Yeah.
So it's helped me grow, it's helped me learn. And I do believe, again, it's for me personally, I can't speak for other people. Everyone has different experiences and different ways of dealing with things. At the time, it's the end of the world, and
Yeah.
you can't see a way out of it. But looking back, it's something that's made me a better person. So I don't want to dwell on the negatives too much of it. It is a horrible thing, but it is something you can come out with positive actions and good people. You need to, obviously, good people that you can trust and go to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know from my own experience as well. Obviously, it was hard for me at the time, but then you do I don't know, you try and think of as many positive things as you can to get you through it, and then with people helping you out as well, you just have to find something to, I don't know, change your focus. I suppose really, because for me that's what sort of started it off. I went to and done my personal training course and things. I'd done the Great North Run. I'd done that, and that sort of what gave me a bit of focus really, just something to train towards, and that's what made me want to become a personal trainer really.
Brilliant. And I think, like myself, you probably wouldn't have done that if you hadn't had the experience that you had. So it can provide a lot of positives. Obviously, it can provide a lot of negatives for people, and there does need to be an avenue. But I believe that if there's good outcomes from it, I think that hopefully will give more people that hope and the direction that they can come out of it, rather than be stuck in that period of time that they're in.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, because for me, it was just I'd started doing a little bit of running here and there, and then I think my wife was still struggling, but she said, "Oh, by the way, I've signed you for the Great North Run." I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks for that." So then I had to do it then. So I trained, got myself to a good level, done that, and that's what sort of gave me the passion really for it. With all the training I was doing, and that's when I started doing my personal training course, and I went on and done the Great North Run another 2 times after that. So it definitely helped me, give me a kick up the arse what I needed.
Brilliant. Love it. Yeah, it's like I say, as you've said, and as many people, who go on and achieve stuff, everyone's got a story, and it's how you use that to provide a positive. And for me, it's about contribution. It's about how you can use your own experiences and contribute to other people. So for me, there's no better feeling than helping people achieve their very best. And a big thing is achieving their potential, because there's times in my life I haven't achieved my potential, something I'm trying to make up for lost time. So to help other people achieve their potential, that's a focus for me. It's a drive, and something I love to see people doing, people achieving. And I love other personal trainers achieving great things. Yeah. I love other gyms achieving great things. There's never enough gyms, there's never enough personal trainers who've got, as long as they've got goodwill and them wanting to help people, there's never enough of them type of people. So to see more of them who care about helping others, and gyms that care about helping others, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's it, because like you say, you can help other people, and you can see that they're struggling, you can sort of help them, and that's really what you sort of want to do it for. Like yourself, if you've got clients and you think like sometimes they're maybe not giving their all, or they sort of self-doubting themselves, it's just in you to sort of give them that belief and help them to see the sort of the end goal where they want to be, instead of just seeing tomorrow and think, oh, well, I can't be asked for a run or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And it's finding out what motivates them, and how you can provide the education to help them with whatever focus they've got at that time. And I think every personal trainer works well with different types of people.
Yeah.
There's certain people we don't suit, and that other personal trainers suit, which is a good thing. And but I definitely think being able to tap into people's minds a little bit more, understand, does help, as long as you can provide the education of how they can achieve the potential with that.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of like you have to get to know them a little bit on a sort of like on a personal level as well, to help them on a professional level. So just getting to know what they're like really, and sort of what the obstacles are to changing, and that really, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think once you build the trust up, which is the main thing, it's building that trust up, it's building that mutual respect for each other, and friendship to a point. But there's obviously, you don't just want to be the best mate, and because at the end of the day they're paying you for a service to get them to achieve, and that's the main outcome, to get them to achieve that goal. So for me, it's massively about building that trust up. I think once you build the trust up, they then respect the educational side that you give them, and they listen to it. And once they listen to it and buy into it, that's when they can get the results.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you've got to have that respect from them, don't you? Sort of, they don't just want to see it as like a mate and they're like, yeah, sort of, taking the piss out of you a little bit. You want them to work hard and achieve their full potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Naturally, you do build friendships up, and with some people, but it is still having that boundary, and you get that from learning as you go along. I've certainly learned a lot from working with different people. I've made mistakes at times as well, and I've looked at them mistakes and think how I can improve myself, which I look to do every day in order to help others. But yeah, it's definitely that fine line. There's got to be that focus on getting them results and what they really want, what they're paying for, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did your personal training journey start then? When did you sort of first start out as a personal trainer?
So obviously I did bits when I was younger, obviously around about when I just got released from Middlesbrough, so I did little bits there, and I worked with different age groups there. But actually within a gym environment, it was 27-year-olds, so it's like, I look a lot older than what I actually am, so it was about 10 years ago. So started off at Tees Active, which, to be honest, was a great place. It was a great place to start. Learned a lot. Worked with people from, GP referral people there as well. Did a lot of different qualifications there. I already had some qualifications before I went there, and learned from there. Worked with fat loss groups. Worked with different athletes that came in. But really got a taste for the fitness industry, and I was salaried at the time, so it gave me that calmness after having all the health issues to really go and learn properly. And I really enjoyed it there, to be honest. I really enjoyed it at Tees Active, and very grateful for the opportunity that they gave me. I am ambitious, so that wasn't my... I got to a point where it was too comfortable there.
Yeah.
So then after 3 years of being at Tees Active, I moved on as a self-employed personal trainer to Lifestyle Fitness. Whereas I started my actual self-employed business. Fortunately, I had the experience of the business side at Stockton-on-tees Football Club, which is really where I realised how grateful I was for that, because it gave me a good foundation of how to structure your business and how to really go and create business plans.
Yeah.
And keeping yourself accountable to certain achievements as well. So that was where I realised the massive benefits of having gone through that experience. But Lifestyle Fitness, it was, again, another place that I've learned a lot, and very grateful for having been there as well. And again, it just got that time where my ambition was always to have my own community and my own facility. So I got to the point where I wouldn't say not happy, but I wasn't satisfied being there. It wasn't my focus to stay there. So I ended up having a plan. It was within my business plan to try and work and learn as much as possible there, and then develop my own business, which I did over the years.
Yeah. So when did you start out your own business, like in personal training? Then was this what you're doing now? Is that your first gym you've had yourself then?
So when did I first actually start my personal training business after working at Tees Active? that was 7 years ago. Sorry, 8 years ago. So that was at Lifestyle Fitness. I was self-employed. Then I started ABC, which was outdoor initially. So we did outdoor, Metcon sessions at Norton Stockton Ancients on the AstroTurf, and I gradually saved up and we got the equipment together and gradually grew the equipment, grew the community, and then decided to eventually gamble and open a facility.
Yeah.
Which has been.
So is that where you're at now then, the ABC? Is that when you moved into that one?
Yeah. Yeah, that was 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, yeah. Opened that. I didn't have grey hair then. Now I have. It's been a really good journey. It's had massive highs and massive lows as well. It is tough. It's tough. Like anybody who runs a fitness facility, we can promote everything on Facebook, and obviously we've got to be positive. I like to be real as well. It's tough. It's a challenge, and it's constantly changing. Fortunately, I do love a challenge. These times where you have nights where you barely get any sleep and you're up in the morning training somebody, and you've got to be obviously really positive, but a lot of people have that in work and businesses, and I don't think many businesses are different. They've all got the stresses. So, but yeah, it was 3 years ago we opened ABC.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you sort of have, obviously it's a bit stressful, but you do have to sort of love what you're doing as well. At least it's sort of something you love doing, like in the fitness industry.
Yeah, of course, and when you love it, it's especially when you first start, when you love it, you've got that momentum, and the downside of that sometimes can be you can be blinded sometimes by your passion, and you make decisions that you haven't probably thought through, and it's a balance between going with your heart and your passion and your energy and keeping that enthusiasm, but you've also got to have a plan as well, and a plan that's adaptable as well to situations like have happened over obviously the last this year basically.
Yeah, it's definitely been a big change, hasn't it? A big culture shock, something like this.
It has, and the initial worry, obviously, realistically, we can say you can be as positive as you want, but when the finances, if money's not coming in, you do panic. Yeah. So there's the initial thing to try and make sure that we're going to survive, and you have to almost guess the amount of time, or try and make it so you can survive the longest period of time possible, because you never know how long it's going to go on. Yeah. And that's where I would like to say an absolute enormous thank you to the members of ABC. The support from the ABC members is just unbelievable. It almost gets you emotional, because they're struggling themselves. A lot of business people themselves, a lot of people who are struggling themselves, and offer them all to cancel or freeze their memberships, and the majority have carried on paying, and the ones who haven't, it's because they were really in desperate situations, but they're supported in other ways. Yeah. So can't thank them enough.
Yeah, that's great. I think you see, you're sort of trying to build your own little place there in your own community, so you get to know all the people, all your members and things like that.
It is, and like I said, they've been, they love the gym themselves. They want the gym to be there. It's my duty to provide the best facility for them, because the gym is for them. It's not for me. I enjoy it, but it's for them. They're the ones who are putting the hard work in, coming in training. They're the ones who, again, have carried on paying whilst it's being closed, and that's phenomenal. Really privileged to have so many genuine people who support like that. And so, again, massively grateful. And that's what's really massively energised me to. I've got a massive amount of motivation and passion and my energy's hugely back to make it achieve more. As is the other PTs. The PTs have been very understanding as well, and the PTs have stayed calm. So, really looking forward to getting back and opening up soon.
Yeah. Have you had any update then as to when you'll be able to open up yourself then?
No, we fall in between the commercial gym and obviously we're a unit, an industrial unit, so we do personal training. So because of the amount of personal trainers we've got and the amount of members we've got, I really have to follow the guidelines of a commercial gym.
Yeah.
So it is at the moment, the sounds are early July. Obviously, the other facilities have been able to open with outdoor, and massive respect for them, It's something I couldn't do really because I wouldn't have been able to manage the numbers properly. But it's great that the other gyms have opened. They're making some great ideas of training outside. I've seen some with gazebos and stuff. And that shows how much they care about the clients. They're doing it right. They're not doing it wrong. And it's helping their clients. And unfortunately, like you say, I can't do that. I've got to follow the commercial kind of gym model. So it's looking like early July, but we're all prepared for it. There's a few more things to get done, and it'll make sure that it's a really safe, fun, and really great environment.
Yeah, definitely. That's the main thing. So, for yourself, then, what's your sort of, I don't know, like sort of niche in personal training? What's your sort of client, typical client?
It's funny, someone else was talking about this the other day. So, it moves over the years, to be honest. It does change. I think, obviously, I work well with athletes due to the fact that I've got the experience of being an athlete. I really have a good rapport with the athletes as well. So that's something with sports specific, easy for me to say with my short tongue. A sports performance side of things, that's something I study heavily, and I always look to learn every day. So I work really well with sports people. I work well with people who've got really big goals. So you mentioned events. So I train a lady who was doing Everest base camps, being up Kilimanjaro. So I work well with a specific activity with movement patterns and stuff, and there's the mindset side of things, but also people who are recovering from injuries and stuff as well. It's something that I work really well with also.
Yeah, I know you do. You got a bit of a mention when I was speaking to Joe the other week. As you know, obviously he said he does a bit of training at your place. He was actually doing a workout in one of the local parks, I think he said. Bit of strength and conditioning.
Yeah. Joe's a fantastic lad. He's absolutely brilliant lad. His attitude's first class. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always wanting to listen. He always puts his maximum effort in. And Imran, who obviously is his coach, Imran's brilliant. He sent me quite a few fighters, all good lads. Luke Cole, Joe, obviously had Simon for a spell, and got a real trust with Imran. And we work, if there's anything, that he wants the fighters to work on that he's noticed in training, he'll pass that message on to me. At the end of the day, I'm there to help the coaches, get them in as best physical shape so they can work on the side that they specialise in, which is the boxing. So I'm just very fortunate to work with some great athletes, and very appreciative to work with them. And Joe's a great lad, like I said.
Yeah, he's definitely got the will and the passion and things like that. So I've trained a bit myself at the natural progressions, and I've seen him in there a few times. He's one of those who's always like the first person who's in there, the last person who's out there. He's unbelievable, really. Full of energy.
Yeah, and he fits that environment well. It's it's a big thing that we're trying that you've talked about and what I've mentioned. it's all about the environment. And Imran, have you met Imran before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so Imran's got this really good. He's got a really good personality about him. He's got a lot of knowledge, but the environment there, he provides a great environment, great energy. He's really good to be around. So I think Joe probably picks some of that energy up from there, but also adds to that.
Yeah.
So. And I think that goes well at ABC as well, because we've got a similar atmosphere there, a very motivational atmosphere, people wanting to see others achieve.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, so...
There's also...
yeah, sorry, go on.
That's okay, carry on.
Yeah,
yes, so also working with Troy.
Have you trained with Troy Williamson? Have they trained at your place?
Yeah, so Troy does his strength and conditioning with me, and obviously he boxes with Craig Carney, who, again, another very honest man who's very straightforward, straight talking, and him and Troy have got a great relationship. So I'm just there to serve them too. I'm there to help get Troy in as good shape as possible. Craig sent me a message the other night asking me to work. Like, is there something he noticed in training? Is there something I can work on? So it's really important that you've got that trust between, from my point of view, I'm there to help them.
Yeah.
But Troy's brilliant. Troy's got a great attitude as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll ask you a couple more questions, mate, and I'll let you get going. Thanks for joining me today anyway.
Yeah, no.
So, I was just going to say one question. What advice would you give to someone who's sort of getting into the fitness industry now, then, who maybe looking at going down the same route you've chose yourself in starting your own business?
Yeah. So, somebody who's starting off in the fitness industry, it's don't skip the levels. I'm learning every day still. I make mistakes, I try and make as minimal as possible, but it's important to learn, and I learned a lot by starting off in an environment like Tees Active.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to get that base of studying how the industry works. And also what that does by having getting into it that way, it allows you time to really study and learn off other people. So if somebody was getting into it and say, don't be scared to start off within an organisation that's going to try and educate you, whilst you can then save money to educate yourself. And don't dive. If you go into the self-employment side of things, you've got to really, really be patient and know that you're not just going to go from there to there straight away.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed myself. Obviously, a lot of people do that. They'll try to go into that straight away, and then you already need to have that sort of client base and knowledge. And when you first go into it, you don't have all that just sort of literally in front of you, do you? So something you've got to build up over time.
Without doubt, and the more people you train as you go along, the different characters you learn, the type of people, the type of personalities you suit, and the type of personalities that suit you, like you suit. Obviously, they've got to. You can work with some people, and you might not suit their personality. Yeah. So working with as many people as possible and starting off in that way, it's massive. It's massively important rather than just diving in.
Yeah. So for yourself, then, do you have one who sort of helps you on the business side, or did you get a lot of knowledge, like you said before, from when you were at Stockton Town?
Yeah, I've got a lot of help there. I mean, I've done mentorships. I've done some programs that I shouldn't have done, to be honest. I learned more off the amount of money I spent on them, where I could have spent it a lot more wisely and got probably more education locally in a short way. But you live and learn. I've got good people around me. I'm very fortunate to have some clients, or past clients as well. But I've got some clients who have got massive business experience. They run their own businesses. Some of them become really close friends, but not friends where they tell me what I want to hear. They'll call me out if I'm doing stuff wrong from a business point of view. They tell me the truth brutally sometimes. So I've got some brilliant people around me. I'm very lucky. I would be very arrogant and ignorant not to listen to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So for yourself then, is it something you're wanting to continue sort of as long as you can really, sort of, where would you see yourself in 5 years? Would you still see yourself doing it then?
Yeah, for my sins, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm like everybody. I do have days where I think, what am I doing? What's the point in this? You know, in situations like this when you've been saving up for years and then you think it could all go down the drain with forces out of your control. So there's times when you think like that. But yeah, I love it. I do. I want to be in it for as long as possible. I'm aware that I'm getting older and I've got to have a plan for that. Yes, I want to be still training people, but I've got to become smarter on the business side as well, so that I'm not doing 50 hours of personal training and sleeping 3 hours a night, 4 hours a night that I was for a lot of years, because that can't go on forever. It's not healthy. But yeah, I do want to do it for a while, for a long time. And you know, my main thing is I want to develop other personal trainers as well, if possible, and you know, hope that they go on to achieve great things as well.
That's good stuff, mate. Yeah. So is there any sort of goals yourself that you're still looking to achieve for yourself then?
Yeah, there is. Whether my ego gets the better of me sometimes, we still have it sometimes. Over this time, the last few months, you know, I keep thinking, could I give it another year at football? And I played for Thornaby, helped them gain promotion. I was fit because obviously I'm a personal trainer, but was I as football fit as I could be in terms of obviously I lift a lot of weights and stuff. So, you know, I kind of look and think I'd like to give it another year and give that a go and train properly just for football. The business side of things now, I've got a lot of fantastic personal trainers, so I could manage that time. It's whether my body would hold up to that in terms of injuries. I've had a lot of injuries over time, so it's something I might give a go and see how my body reacts to it. But again, it's not something that I'm not going to force it. I'm going to try and do it, and if I enjoy it and my body allows me to, then that's what I'd like to do next season and play as high as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Joe the other week about it actually, and I was saying that I'd seen, because I go to watch a lot of the local games like Stockton, Billingham, Thornaby, that sort of teams. Because I normally I'll go down and I'll sponsor the games or I'll sponsor the match bar, that sort of thing. And I watch a lot of games. I've seen you play a couple of games, and they had a good battle that season with Billingham Town.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, that one. Or certainly what was happening on the sidelines was wild in terms of the supporters. I've got a lot of fondness for Billingham Town. It's one of the clubs that when I got released from Middlesbrough, I went and played for some very good managers. And we just, the last game of the season, we literally drew level on points for the league and we lost it on goal difference. So we had a fantastic team and fantastic memories from Billingham Town. So, and it's the same with all Northern League clubs. There's rivalry, but you get to know everyone and you have your little spats. But some brilliant people around. So I miss that side of things. I miss the running around a football pitch basically, and just that feeling of I've done something and it's an achievement to get through a game, to be honest, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's something I was never sort of good at when I was younger, but even now I still think I can play a bit, and I'm nearly 40 now, so my kids keep telling me I'm rubbish, and I know I am, so I'll stick to the running and the personal training sort of thing.
Well, like you say, we've all got our skills and our things we can improve on. So if I got into a boxing ring, I'd maybe look the part, but I wouldn't fight the part because from the strength and conditioning side, I'm okay, but I wouldn't be able to do that. So football's my game in terms of me playing. We've all got our weaknesses and strengths that way.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I'm sort of looking at doing a bit more. That I'm more of the strength and conditioning side of things now. I think so I might have to come and try your gym out one time. I know where it is. So. Aye.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome. Pop in any time. You know, it's you'll enjoy it, and you're welcome anytime. It would be great to see you.
Yeah, hopefully it gets open soon. I mean, hopefully I'll get back to mine soon as well. See how that goes. But,
which one are you, where you're at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working at Top Fitness.
Brilliant, brilliant. Also, do you know Gav McNamee?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Gav. I used to work with Gav.
Yeah, I think he's actually working for them now, because I'm sure Top Fitness bought out, I can't remember what it was now, who he used to work for. I can't remember the name of the company. But yeah, they used to work in the Top Fitness, but I think Top Fitness have actually bought them out now.
Yeah, Gav's a great lad. He's a good personal trainer as well. He's a fantastic lad. Just one thing I'm getting back to with the fitness industry and it's something I didn't mention that I did want to touch upon. Somebody who helped me get into the fitness industry at the time, a good friend of mine as well, who he's currently just he's left the fitness industry to go and work in medicine in hospitals, but an unbelievable personal trainer, an unbelievable friend as well. You mentioned about the mental health side of things. When I was struggling and wanting to get in the fitness industry, this person helped me massively, and that's Stephen McLean. So that is I wouldn't be in the fitness industry as a self-employed personal trainer or on my own gym without the help and guidance of Steve McLean. So I'm very, very grateful for that. Even though he's a bit of a twat sometimes. I didn't say that really. No, he's a great lad. He helped me also. It is important that I thank him for that.
Yeah, like I say, for me, it's I'm trying to sort of learn myself. I mean, I've only been into it sort of. I've been qualified for a couple of years now, but I've done other jobs. It's only this is the first job I've actually had in personal training. So I just try to gain as much knowledge as I can actually working into it, and maybe one day I'll sort of do something like similar to yourself. Get my own place or whatever, just have to see how it goes really. But yeah, you can get as much advice as I can. So always learning. Every day is a skill.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I'd just like to say thanks for joining me today, mate. I'll let you get on now. Hopefully you get back into your gym soon, and hope everything works out for you.
Really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully, I know I talk quite a lot and go into great detail, so I hope I haven't rambled too much, but thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, that's what I like, mate. Plenty of detail again. Hopefully I'll see you down in your gym in a couple of weeks down there.
Absolutely, I'll hold you to that.
Yeah, no bother, mate. Thank you.
Take care. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
See you later, mate.